Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I cannot believe we are already at the end of November. No need to count down to Christmas season anymore because that's typically how I talk about how fast our months have gone because we're in it. We are in the swing of things. Thanksgiving is over. If y'all celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you had a wonderful holiday. I know I did. Christmas is still my favorite, so I am eagerly anticipating that. I don't know why I'm eagerly anticipating it because it will be here like tomorrow, basically. But all the while, I hope y'all had a great November. I am here to talk about what I was loving in November. And if I'm going to be quite honest, I have like 5, maybe 6 things to talk about. It's not much at all. I have basically been doing the same look pretty much 75 to 80% of the month, and it is the look I have on right now. I think I am going to do a separate video on that because I don't know that I've stuck to one look per se for as long as I have this one. It's just, I just haven't really felt motivated to figure out a different look to do, to spend the time on it. It's been so crazy. Everybody knows how crazy it is over the holidays. And I need to get ready fast. So basically I'll do this look. I'll change up the foundations and maybe the bronzer. That's about it. And I am going to do a separate favorite winter foundation video. So I'll talk about all the foundations I like to switch up in that one. So let's just go ahead and get started. I am going to remember to do a Zeus update this month because I know I forgot last month. And a lot of y'all realize that. So I don't want to leave him out this month by any means. If you're not aware, Zeus is our English Mastiff. I figured I would do monthly updates until he's fully grown, which is about 18 months. On December 1st, he will be 14 months old. So he is still growing. I would venture to say he's about 180 pounds right now. I don't really know, honestly. We need to take him to the vet for his yearly checkup and find out how much he weighs. But he does continue to get bigger. I see him every day, so I feel like he's not getting as big. But when people come over to the house who haven't seen him in even just a week or so, they're like, holy cow, he's gotten so much bigger. So I'm going to click over real quick to like a 30-second clip of Zeus so you can see him, and then we'll be back to talk about the favorites.
Hey, bud.
Say hi to Daddy. Say hi to Daddy. Can you say hi to Daddy? Can you say hi to Daddy? Where's your bone?
Oh, boy.
Show him your house. You're so good boy. You don't know what's going on, do you?
Hey. What are you chewing on, huh?
Hi. Hi. Look at him cutting his eyes. Hi. Okay, so now that we are all caught up on our Zeus update, let's go ahead and talk about the products. So I only have 3 makeup products, true makeup products. They're all powder products. And like I said, they are really pretty much the staple products that I will use on the face that I have on right now. So I do have all of these on today. The first one is a powder. I talked about this in my Shop My Stash video, which I think went up maybe even only like last week, but I had filmed it almost a month prior to that. And I talked about using this powder. This is the Well People Bio Brightener Invisible Powder. I used it in that video. I talked about how when I first got this, when I feel like a lot of people on YouTube were talking about it, I didn't quite understand the hype. It was just okay. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't awful. It was just okay. So it kind of ended up getting stuck at the back of my drawer, as just okay products tend to do. And when I pulled it out for the Shop My Stash throughout the day, I'm like, wow, I really like that powder. I wonder if it's the foundation that I used, because everything in that video was stuff that I hadn't used in a while. So I used this powder the next day over foundation that I use regularly, and I really liked it again. And then the next day, and the next day, and I'm just like, you know what? I really like it. So I have just been pulling it out. It's by Well People, which is a clean brand, more of a natural brand. It's honestly doesn't look like it has that much in it, but I have, like I said, used it a lot, and it still looks to be pretty full. It's 0.21 ounces, 6 grams. I think it's just because it's in a smaller container. But the reason I like this is the reason I like any powders that I do like. And it's because it does not sit on the face like a powder. It doesn't dry my face out. It doesn't accentuate anything that I don't want it accentuated. It does not look cakey. And it really just melts into the skin nicely and looks, when I say something looks like skin, it looks like skin to the extent that makeup can look like skin. Because I honestly and obviously know that makeup is going to look like makeup a lot of the time when you have it on your face. But I want it to look as natural as possible, even though I tend to cake lots of products on my face. And this powder helps that because it does look as natural as possible, especially once I spritz it with a spray. I have so many of those I kind of just rotate through them. Once I do that at the end of my makeup routine, it just kind of melts into the skin. Really nice. It is talc free, so if you are against talc, it might be a good option to check into. And I've just really been enjoying it. So again, it's what I have on my face today. You can't really tell what a powder looks like, but I thought I'd let you know anyways. All right, the next thing is this blush. I have a huge bag of stuff that I'm going to be doing a blog sale on very soon. It seems to just keep growing. Stuff that I've used literally once, twice, which is typically what I do for blog sales. If I only use something a couple of times and don't reach for it, I end up selling it because why not give it to somebody for like 50% off when it's just going to go bad sitting on my shelf? And I have quite a few blushes in that bag, so I don't have as much to choose from. And it's kind of comical because I still have a ton to choose from. But I've just been reaching for this one so much because it never looks overdone. And I can have a super heavy hand with blush and bronzer. I always have. I probably always will. And some blushes are just so pigmented that sometimes I can look not so cute once I put a ton on my face. This one, you just can't ever do it. Shall I tell you what I'm talking about? This is the Glow Skin Beauty Blush in the color Soleil. Y'all already know if you have watched any of my videos, if you've watched my favorite makeup brand video, y'all know Glow Skin Beauty is in my top 5 favorite makeup brands. I will be doing a full face using their products. I have 5 of their blushes. This one is my favorite color out of the 5. It's hard to say because they really are so pretty, but this is I don't want to say a shimmer. It's a blush, excuse me, with a bit of a sheen to it. And it is very neutral in tone. I think that's another reason I like it because even though these are the eyes that I've been wearing most of the time, if I do make it a little bit cooler, it still works. It does have a little bit of a peachy undertone, but I still wouldn't consider it like a super warm blush. And if you can see, it's not pulling like a lot of shimmer. It does not have any shimmer. It's just a very nice sheen. And again, it's what I have on my cheeks today. It is something that I could just load on and load on and load on and still not overdo. And especially once I buff, it looks perfect. So I've just really not even been putting this away. I've been keeping it on my vanity, and I don't think I've used anything different in the past 2 weeks at least. So I've been loving that blush. And again, I'll talk more about all the blushes in my full face of Glow Skin Beauty, but that one is far my favorite of my collection. Okay, the next product is a highlight. This, I don't know. I know this was in my top 5 highlighters. And I still think Hourglass holds the top spot for an actual highlighter. But for some reason, I just have not been able to put this one down. This is just the good old Champagne Pop from Becca. I think everybody and their mama knows what Champagne Pop from Becca looks like. There are 2 reasons that I've been loving this month. So again, I have it on my cheekbones. I love it. Love, love, love it. These are a little bit more highlighty than some people might be comfortable with. However, I find that they have absolutely no glitter. They do not accentuate texture. They buff into the skin beautifully. They're just a little bit more poppy, I guess you could say. So I love wearing it on the face. I have kept it out on my vanity along with the blush and powder and used it every day on my face. But what I have also been doing with this, and what I have absolutely fallen head over heels with this for, is for eyeshadow. And I've been changing up my my matte colors. Like I'll pick from different palettes throughout the month just to kind of change it up a little bit. But I will typically, literally, just do a crease color, put a little bit of color on my outer V. I will take my finger and I will press it on my lid. That's what I have on today. And I'm done with my eyes. It takes no time at all. I don't have to search for different palettes or different products. Again, I've just not been motivated or in the mood, and this has been a savior for me because it's that perfect in between of a little bit of shimmer, but not glitter or metallic or overdone. So if you're someone who thinks that they don't look good in metallic or shimmer shadows, even if they're not metallic, just shimmer shadows in general, if you think it accentuates stuff you don't want it to accentuate on your eyelids, I would highly recommend using some kind of finely milled highlighter like this, because it just gives that perfect amount of sheen and elegance and just bumps up an all matte look just a little bit without emphasizing anything. Love it, love it, love it. I also love using Opal for that purpose, but Champagne Pop has just been where it's at for me this month. I absolutely love it. Okay, I have 3 brushes. That's all the makeup. I have 3 brushes to talk about. One of which I feel like, well, these 2 I feel like I've talked about. I think I've talked about all of them in a video, but we're going to talk about them at my favorites as well. The first 2 are from the new brush collection from Beautycounter. There's only 4 brushes in the collection. I bought the entire set, but you can buy them separately. The first one I'm going to talk about is the powder fan brush. So it looks like this. It's not like anything earth-shatteringly new with the design of it, but it's very, very, very soft. For a synthetic brush, it feels like natural hair. It is perfectly dense. So what I find is that even if something has soft hairs, if you make it too dense, it's not going to feel soft. If you make it not dense enough, it's not going to put the product on properly. So I use this, if you can't tell, for bronzer. And I love the fact that I can either lay it on its side and just pat the bronzer on like that. I can use it from its top and really get into my hairline, because I've talked about that before. I've been having issues with my bronzer staying in my hairline. And so I will really buff it in that way. You can take it as a contour if you want to be a little bit more precise with your color, or again, you can just take it on this side. I don't particularly like to contour that much, so I've just been taking on the side, but I do swipe it up a little bit to blend after I apply it to the face. And it's perfect for the jawline. It fits on so perfectly for the jawline, but then it covers a lot of space for when I just want to bring it down the neck, because I always bring my bronzer down the neck, so I can be precise on the jawline and then bring it down and cover a lot of space where I only have to like go like that 3 times and get bronzer all over my neck. So it's just been the perfect size, the perfect density, the perfect softness. I've been using this ever since I've gotten it, every single day. Love, love, love this brush. The next brush is technically their crease brush. It's a very small crease brush. It's not going to be what we typically think of as like a fluffy type crease brush. It is this size right here. So while I have used this for applying, especially the outer V color, because it is smaller and more precise, and especially if I want to pull it up into the crease, it works great for that. I have really been using this a lot for my lower lash line. I have been smoking out color in my lower lash line. I used this in my most requested eye look video, where I just smoked out the Persona Cosmetics Copper palette, which technically probably should be in my favorites this month. And it just does such a good job. I had mentioned that it's very similar to my beloved Wayne Goss number 20 brush. So I'm going to put them together. They have some differences, but I'm going to show you what they look like right next to each other. So this is the Wayne Goss, and that's the Beautycounter. So you can see the Wayne Goss is a little bit more tapered down at the ferrule, and then it gets a little bit wider at the top. A very, very small amount. The Beautycounter is pretty much the same width from ferrule to top. It's a tiny bit more narrow at the ferrule. But the reason I like this is because the density is pretty much the exact same on both. So you're going to get the same effect, the same preciseness as you are with the Wayne Goss with the Beautycounter. The difference is this is synthetic. A lot of people are against natural hair brushes. I get it. I'm not one of those people because I love a natural hair brush, but if you are and you love synthetic only, this is a great alternative for this. It is also cheaper. So while I will never give this up, I am glad to have an alternative that also works good for the upper lash line as well, but has become a favorite for the lower lash line. And then finally, I just told y'all in my last video I was going to be talking about this brush as well. This is the Persona Cosmetics eyeshadow brush. This is the only brush that they have in the line. It comes 2 ways. You can get it in the set, like if you were to purchase it from Ulta, it only comes in the set with the eyeshadow palette and the eyeliner. You can purchase this separately on personacosmetics.com, so I will link both of them down in the description bar. But I use this today. It's dirty. I've been using it every day. It works for a lot of good things, but my favorite way to use it is for the outer corner because it is denser than even, say, some of my like MAC 217 type brushes, which I tend to use. So it packs it on better, but I like it because it packs it on because it's dense. It doesn't fade it places that I don't want it to be if I really want to concentrate it on that outer corner. But it's also like tapered just enough to be able to really get it into that crease as much as I want to without, again, blowing it out, the color out farther than I want it to be. I have a feeling that's not going to make near as much sense to y'all as it does to me, but hopefully you kind of get the gist. I really like this. It's very lightweight. It's, you know, kind of fancy because it gets really skinny down at the end. But in all honesty, like, I could care less what the ferrule and the body of the brush look like. I just want it to perform good, and it really performs well. So I highly recommend that brush. I highly recommend the sets, but if you don't want to get the sets because you don't need any more eyeshadow, then I would just purchase it separately on Persona Cosmetics. Okay, so 2 more things to talk about. These I was sent from Octoly and the brand called Skylar. And I'd never heard of Skylar before, but they claim to be a clean, natural perfume brand. And look, I am never going to be able to give up my perfumes that I love so much, but to be able to have like options that are cleaner is nice. This does have alcohol denatured, but it is organic sugarcane derived. So that is what makes it clean. It's got the fragrance blend is with natural and essential oils. So they sent me 2, and the whole point of this is that they're meant to be layered, or I don't want to say they're meant to be layered. They can be layered. I got to choose which one I wanted, and I picked the pair of Isle and Arrow. So these are the boxes. Isle, you can tell, is going to be more like oceany, more fresh. Let me see if this, yeah, it says clean, dewy, and fresh. Vacation oasis inspired by the ease of a day spent near the ocean. This is what I have on today. I do really like this. I've said before, I typically like to smell like cake, but I also like to smell like laundry sometimes, and this is kind of falls into the laundry category. It is very fresh. It is very dewy. Really like this one. The only thing I don't like about these is that the fact that they're roller balls. Now, I know that a lot of people don't care. I prefer a size like I do love a size like this because I can put it in my purse easily. But I prefer it to be a spray because I oftentimes like to put my perfume on my clothes as well. I feel like it lasts longer on my clothes and in my hair than it does on my actual skin. And obviously I'm not going to roll this on my clothes or in my hair. So if it were a spray, I would love it even more. This one is Arrow. This is spicy, warm, and seductive, which is typically up my alley. It says date night essential inspired by bold confidence at dusk. So this one is much stronger. Let me see. It reminds me of like a Tom Ford fragrance. It's got a little bit more of a bite to it. So here's the thing. I like this one okay, but I'm not a big fan of it by itself. However, when I put these 2 together, it's perfect. I like this one by itself and mixed. I like this one mixed. So I just want to talk about those because I have been enjoying them since I have gotten them. It's probably been a little over a week ago, and I like that it's a more clean alternative. They have obviously bigger spray bottles, and I feel like they have other stuff too. So I'm going to leave that link down below so you can check out what they have, but thank you to Skylar and Octoly for sending that because now I can grow my clean side of the perfume collection, but I'm not getting rid of my favorites. I just can't. A woman's got to have her favorites. I can't give up everything. Okay, I only have one more thing to talk about, and it is clothes related because I don't think I have any shows. Let me think real quick on the shows. The Last Kingdom season 3 came out in November. We finished that in like 4 days. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me ask y'all this. Who has watched The Haunting at Hill House? It's new on Netflix, I believe, this month. If y'all have watched it, let me know. I cannot do horror. It gives me anxiety. Like literally, I'm like a little girl. I'm like looking through my hands. I can't do it. I just can't do it. My brother recommended the show, and if he recommends something, typically it's really good. And so we watched it the night before Thanksgiving when he was in town. We watched the first episode, and I got up and I wanted to like throw up. It's ridiculous how scaredy cat I am. Chad could care less about it. Like I don't want to say he could care less about the show. He doesn't get scared. So he is watching it. But because I knew I could not watch it, I looked it up to see what happened. And it sounds phenomenal. It just doesn't sound like something that I could watch. So if you've seen it, let me know what you think about it. If you haven't and you do like scary stuff, I recommend, just from what I have read, watching it. So those two things, and I don't think anything else. Outlander started in November. If y'all don't watch Outlander, okay, let me rephrase that. If you have not read Outlander, please read it first and then watch it. That comes on Starz. And I think those are the 3 shows that we have gotten sucked into, at least some of us. Okay, so the last product I'm going to talk about. How have I talked this long about like 5 things? Y'all. Okay, it's a clothing item. And it is this jacket I have on right now. I cannot tell you how much I love this jacket. Let me tell you a tiny little 30-second backstory. Let's see if I can really make it 30 seconds. Go. All right. A friend of mine that I actually met at the women's retreat I went to in November. She is a consultant for, or I want to say a stylist. I think they call themselves stylist for Cabby clothing. I had never heard of it before. We were talking about it because she was the same one that we got sucked in talking about the Rothy's, which also I have bought like 3 extra pair of those. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. This is not going to be 30 seconds. She is a stylist for Cabby. And so I was looking on her website because I wanted to support her and get something. And I saw this jacket. And y'all, I love plaid. Chad loves plaid. I was like, this is going to be a match made in heaven. And if I can show you, I'm going to try. I don't have that much room in this little area. But can you see how the zipper goes at a diagonal across the body? And you can see how it fits. This is a small. It can be used. One of the reasons I like it so much is because it can be used as an actual coat. It is actually very warm. Or it can be used as an outfit, which is like how I'm wearing it today, just with a white shirt underneath. It's really pretty with a red shirt underneath or a brown shirt. Obviously, they're very versatile. But I don't know if you can see this. Let me see if I can get close enough to where it will actually focus. This is the softest material. Oh my goodness. When it came in, I'm like, this is pure luxury. Y'all, this is an amazing coat. I bought a pair of brown skinny cords from them too, which I really like. I'm going to be buying more because this is it's just classy looking. If you like plaid, it's like a classy lumberjack. That's like me in the winter. Yes, I just said that. In all honesty, this jacket is amazing. I cannot wait to get more. I will link it down below, but if you just want to check it out, look at it, whatever. But if you're in the market for anything new that you know is likely not going to be on any of your other friends, because I feel like when I buy stuff from anywhere close to here, I end up seeing it on half of my friends. And I'm like, well, that's not, like, why did I buy that? Because now I'm just like everybody else. I want to be a little bit different. So if you want something that you know probably none of your friends are going to have, except for me, then I would highly recommend checking this out. They have lots of other choices, shoes, jewelry, tops, dresses, sweaters, coats, bottoms, jeans. List goes on and on. Anyways, I will link that down below, but this has been a huge favorite ever since it's come in. I just want to live in it every single day. So that's going to wrap it up for my long favorites, where I barely talked about anything. Hopefully you enjoyed your month of November. Be sure and tell me your favorite product from the month down in the comment section below. I love hearing what y'all were enjoying as well. I hope y'all have a fabulous December coming up onto Christmas. I will see you in my next favorites video at the end of December, but I will see you in my next video in a few days. So be sure and like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content. And as always, I hope y'all all go out and have a very blessed day.